In Japan, the hand can be used like a knife. But this method doesn't work with a tomato. That's why we use the Ginsu. It's a knife that no kitchen should be without. The Ginsu can cut a slice of bread so thin you can almost see through it. It cuts meat better than an electric knife and goes through frozen food as though it were melted butter. The Ginsu is so sharp it can cut through a tin can and still slice a tomato like this. It can chop wood and still remain razor sharp. What's more, it's a knife that will last forever. How much would you pay for a knife like this? Before you answer, listen. It even comes with a matching fork to make carving a pleasure. Wait, there's much, much more. We also want you to have this.
All right, settle down. There was a magical time in America when you could wake up at 1:47 in the morning and discover a man in a polo shirt sawing through a cinder block with a kitchen knife and somehow think, you know what? We could probably use that. Look, the internet didn't invent impulse buying. The 1980s already perfected it. Amazon just removed the yelling guy with the saxophone music, but never fear, we've got another yelling guy right here. We're going to talk about infomercials today, and we're going to do it with my good buddy, Marc. We'll do that right now. Marc, welcome in, bud.
Hello, Scott. How are you?
I am good. Hey, I hyped you up
Good.
as being a hype man, so let's work on that.
So we're talking, this is a cool topic that you've come up with here, Scott. I give you credit for that.
Well, look, it needs to be done.
Yeah.
Like I said in the intro, they didn't develop impulse shopping now, man. We had that under control back in the 80s.
Yeah. And then when these infomercials came around, they were like their own, I don't know about you, but like if I come across the home shopping channel, I can't watch it for more than 10 seconds. But that's sort of adjacent to the infomercial, right?
Yeah.
But the infomercials, man, some of them, you just get sucked into it, even if you've seen it 20 or 30 times.
Here's the idea behind it. TV shows back in the 50s were vehicles to sell a product. I remember seeing Andy Griffith reruns, and he would turn to the camera, like after a scene, and he and Opie would just pour a big bowl of cereal, and they'd talk about how great Post was. And you had Fred and Barney outside sucking on a heater, knocking down some Winston cigarettes. And like that was just part of the show. Well, they put the brakes on that, and there was a rule on radio where you could allow more ads. And looks like it was sometime in the 80s, mid 80s, where it was deregulated and you could run ads as programming. It was no longer constrained. And so that's how these UHF stations and the small cable companies would just make some revenue of the overnight hours instead of having the American flag and airplanes and at midnight turning off. They just keep it on.
I mean, why not squeak some revenue out during the overnight hours?
No reason not to. So
Why not?
what I played earlier was the Ginsu Knife commercial that is instantly recognizable. And that was the first in what they call modern. Ginsu was the first one of these where it lasted more than a minute. And it was this pitch man. He had on the, regular clothes, and they had an Asian guy there just straight up out of a samurai movie.
Yeah. And they were typically like a half an hour long, weren't they? Usually.
Well, the first ones were 2 minutes long, and then somebody got the idea, the gate open then.
Yeah.
And then you could get Ronco and K-Tel and all the companies that just piled in. Those commercials, though, they were my mom bought some. The guy cut a tomato, and then he cut a pipe, and then a shoe, and then like took a hunk out of a guy in a street fight. Like those knives, you got to have them.
Oh, yeah. No, they're great. And I mean, even to this day, when I get a new set of knives, the first thing I do is see if I can cut an aluminum can with it.
This one
Always
was clearly a Budweiser can. He had his hand covering the Bud label, but it's very obviously a Budweiser can. So they made this commercial for about $65.
Yeah. Nowadays, they've had some pretty big actors and famous people do some of these too. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but that was a thing for a little while.
Well, there was one on Mad TV with Jim Carrey where he was selling some kind of weight loss deal that
Yeah.
was just so funny. And then they had another one with Heather Locklear and Mike Myers on Saturday Night Live. That's worth looking up. She turns into a Holocaust denier, and it's just pretty funny in Mike Myers' face while the phones just start going nuts, like when she's saying these crazy things. But yeah, those are both worth a look up.
And let's not forget too that a lot of these infomercials made their way into mainstream television and movies just as references. The clapper has been in so many shows
I know.
as a joke.
Right. It becomes part of the landscape. Like it's really sealed in a time. And so this guy bought a clapper. This guy. So that's a quick way to say in a movie, this guy watches a lot of TV at night with cold pizza, and it sets the whole stage without having to go into all that.
Yeah. And if you remember the actual infomercial for the clapper, they showed one of the scenes. I will never forget this because it was traumatic. It was horrifying. There was like a 70-year-old woman in a nightgown in her bed, and she would clap. Oops, sorry, I just hit my mic stand.
Right.
She would clap like this, and she had like 8-foot arms. Do you remember that? She had like orangutan arms.
Yes. Didn't she have a house coat on?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I thought it was like a flowery blue nightgown is what I'm remembering in my head. But she would sit up in bed and she'd be like, "Oh, I forgot to turn off the light." Clap. And I mean, her arms were so long that guaranteed her fingertips were breaking the speed of sound. So those were probably actually little sonic booms.
Remember noticing how gangly this old woman was.
Yeah. Isn't it funny? We both remember that, and that was like 100 years ago.
That's nuts. I knew somebody that had one, and the lamp would flicker.
A little old
every once
lady
in a
or
while.
the clapper?
No, well, I've known several people that had possession of little old ladies.
I've still got one.
Yeah, the dog would bark sometimes. It would turn the lamp off, or they're clapping during a football game, and it looks like a disco in there. Like it may not have been a great idea, but boy, it stuck around.
Imagine if you clapped to turn off the lights, but accidentally turned off your life alert.
Your oxygen.
Help! I've fallen and my lights won't come on.
Right. That's not. My gigantic arms won't let me clap the way I'm laying.
Oh, she looked kind of like the Where's the Beef woman a little bit.
She looked a little like a woman that lived down the street from me that always accused me of taking apples out of her tree, which I usually did.
Which you did?
She'd come out of the porch and shake that enormous fist at me. All right.
She looked like a Marvel supervillain.
So what made these things magical, like in the early days of it? Like, I remember falling asleep during Letterman. My parents let me have a TV in my room, which was a terrible error in parenting. But I'd, watching Letterman at night, sneaking movies and stuff. And then you'd wake up, and then there's this guy with a turtleneck on trying to sell me a food processor. And they all just seemed so impressed with it.
Or the slap chop. Remember the slap chop?
Oh,
that was a food processor.
Yeah, it was later on.
Technically a food processor, yeah. Didn't that guy go to jail?
Yeah, the ShamWow dude.
Is that the same guy?
Yes.
I know the slap chopper guy went to jail for something.
Yeah, and the slap chopper guy is the ShamWow guy, is the guy that bit a prostitute on the face in Florida. Again, Florida. Yeah.
He bit a prostitute on the face?
Yeah, that's what I hear.
I wonder what they charged for that.
Well, it didn't go over well because he got sent up for it.
All right.
So the early versions of this, and one was parodied on King of the Hill, where Khan, Super Newsome Foam, is watching this infomercial from this dude telling him how to get rich. That is clearly a send-up of the Tom Vu, where he has a yacht and a Lamborghini, and a lot of women sending around just doing nothing. And those were the earliest ones were self-help.
Yeah, that's the come to my seminar guy.
Yes.
Come to my seminar.
Right. And then it turned into Is Your Pet Psychic? And, what were you in a previous life? The 900 numbers.
Yeah. And then who was the singer that, what was her name, that had the psychic hotline? Who am I thinking of? Yeah, it was a singer.
We had the two Coreys.
Yeah, the two Coreys.
Haim and Feldman would you just leave your message there. And then I saw that one recently. Hey, let's just rap. He's like leaning back, like, okay.
I gotta look this up. Famous singer who, how do you spell psychic? There it is.
PSY.
Hotline. Yeah. Dionne Warwick. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh yeah, that's
Remember she had the
right.
she had the
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, that is right. She sat there. Who was that dude with the Brillo pad, kind of the uncooked ramen noodle hair that sat there next to her?
Bob Ross.
No, Ross wasn't selling psychic stuff. He was painting happy little clouds.
But he knew he was painting happy little clouds before we did.
I don't think this is. I think we're getting off the rails here.
Yeah, I think so too. Sorry.
All right. So examples of the duds. You want to go through some of those?
The Floby.
The Floby. Home hair cutting system that attaches to a vacuum cleaner.
Interesting. The bald guy brought up the Floby.
Yeah, isn't it? Because
Isn't it?
you like to point and laugh at stupidity of hair care products.
Yes, because they're a waste of time.
You got the shake weight.
Oh man, that's a relatively newer one though.
Yeah, but it deserves to be on the pile. That dude was vigorously shaking that shake weight.
He was vigorously shaking the shake weight. Yes, he was. But you know what? Best I can tell, that's a legitimate exercise. But what are you doing, man? I mean, what do you do?
Yeah, you gotta. They dang near tell you to cup the balls on that thing. Like that guy's really involved with it.
Yeah,
there's a chance that one doesn't make it into the cut.
Have you ever tried one of those?
Cupping balls?
No. Well, I mean, sure, but specifically the shake weight.
No, I haven't. Do I look like I have?
A gym I coached at for a while, way back when, had one, just collecting dust sitting on the shelf. And it was never used as an exercise piece of equipment. It was used as a joke. Yes. People would pick it up and shake it, and everybody would laugh, and then they'd put it back down the shelf, and then we'd go do real exercises.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned the Floby. Do you remember GLH number 9?
Yeah, but wait, GLH number 9.
It's great looking hair spray. It's canned hair.
Oh yeah, and it would put like spider webs on your head,
something like that. Yeah, it kind of looked like when we were kids. The picture of the bald dude with the shavings of the pin.
Yeah,
it kind of made you look like Mr. Wooly. Kind of made you look like him.
It did not look good. I mean, first and foremost, it looked that. I mean, just go bald, man. Just embrace it. Don't spray paint your freaking head.
Yeah, it's gonna drip. Come on. There's gonna be problems there. So look, for every one of those, well, not for everyone. I'd say probably for every 10 of those, you had the Bowflex, which did over $2 billion.
Is that an actual figure?
Yeah.
Well, Bowflex, I mean, that was a legit product. That wasn't a gimmicky thing. That was a legit piece of equipment.
So George Foreman, they did 100 million units worldwide. The George Foreman grill.
I don't doubt that. That also was a legit product. I mean, they're still making those. I see them in Walmart every now and then for sale.
So what is the absolute as seen on TV queen? If it's not the Floby, it's probably the Thigh Master.
Thigh Master, Suzanne Summers, right?
Yep.
Well, she had some thighs. She was the right one to market that.
Yeah. So what do you think? You're the fitness guy, the gym owner. What's your take on a Thigh Master? Is that real? Is that legit?
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, the muscles that you're working there are your adductors, your adductor muscles on the inside. They're the muscles that bring your knees together, which, Suzanne Summers may or may not have had to work on.
Yeah.
Then the opposite muscles are the abductors, which are the ones on the outside of your legs that make your knees spread apart, which she didn't really need to exercise.
I gotcha. So sometimes there are products that do well. My nephew, who I know to be a very solid dude, got a postgraduate degree, got a brand new baby, just add water, instant good dude. He gets such a kick out of the Flex Seal dude.
Yeah.
I could send him gifs of that dude or just still shots, and he cracks up like a baby looking at like peekaboo every time. So
Also a legit product. Have you tried that stuff, the Flex Seal?
no.
Man, it works as advertised.
Have you used
I
it?
have some.
Do you have a screen door that you turn into a canoe?
Yes.
I guess it does. That's a good endorsement. Good Lord.
In fact, I have never bought a real canoe. I just make them out of screen doors.
I get it.
No, but seriously, stuff works as advertised. And also, have you seen the Flex Seal tape where you could have like a hole on the outside of a water tank and water is just straight up spewing out of it, and you slap this tape on it and it just holds like somehow and plugs the hole in the
I think I have used their tape before and I found it. I was quite pleased with it.
Yep.
According to them, you could put on like quarter panels in your car with it, but it seems pretty good.
Worth a shot.
All right.
I mean, back during this era that we're talking about, everybody's car was 75% Bondo anyway.
So the voice, let's talk about the voice on these things. So we've got, the old date Ron Popeil, and then the ShamWow dude, and then Billy Mays, of course, who, boy, what was the Coke budget on those sets?
Yeah, it probably had its own line item in the budget.
That dude, Lord have mercy. You imagine having him over at dinner?
Now,
this butter or margarine? You can't tell. Yeah, those voices are synonymous with this. It's part carnival barker, part pro wrestling announcer, and almost like hostage negotiator.
Yeah, you mentioned Ron Popeil. He's the only one I actually remember by name.
Oh, you remember Billy Mays, right? The black beard and the...
I can't hear you say that and not think of the movie Major League in Willie Mays Hayes in the movie made.
Yeah, wrong guy.
Totally different.
That's not him.
Guy.
Did we miss anything,
I don't remember
Mark?
Billy Mays. Let me look at my notes because I did come up with, let's see, Clapper Floby. OxyClean. We didn't talk about OxyClean yet.
That's right. OxyClean, I think that's Billy Mays too, before it's a plane wreck or he hit his head or something. I don't remember what got Billy. Something.
Yeah, remember, it didn't matter what you had on your shirt. The OxyClean would get it out.
Boy, they went nuts about, you got blood? You got, hey, back up a minute. That whole shirt is covered. What's he been doing?
Yeah. How did that blood get there? I'm more interested in seeing that.
Yeah, let's talk about the crossbow you took to the chest first. Maybe get that addressed before we start worrying about laundry.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing the TV ad. Obviously, the investigation has been concluded.
That's right. So they just dump it in the load and in the washing machine. I don't know if they use other soap or not, but man, they sold a ton of that. I think there is a major detergent brand now that has it in there. I've seen it on the label.
Oh, yeah. Lots of stuff has it. It's because oxygen gets out, whatever their slogan was. It's not oxygen gets out oxygen. That's stupid. What was their slogan?
I don't know. It must not have stuck.
I don't remember. But their whole shtick was that it was oxygen was the cleaning agent.
Yeah.
Which also made us believe that it was good for the environment.
Oxygen? Oxygen's terrible for the environment. What are you?
It's horrible.
What are you talking about?
I mean, don't breathe it.
Right. You'll be sorry. All right. This was the science portion of the show. Mark's usually good for that. He's more of a physics dude from what I found, though. I don't know about chemistry.
Yeah. I'm not a speaking of physics. No, I got nothing.
Yeah.
I just wanted to piss you off. Yeah.
No, you didn't. But you had everybody reaching for the dial on their phone. So I'm glad you put the brakes on that quick. All right, Mark, I think we scratched the surface here, but it's probably a surface we don't want to get too deep into.
No, this one could go for hours.
They were a fun relic. I remember in high school not high school, but like junior high, when infomercials started coming out, and I would see when they first started coming out, and I would see the QVC people, and they would just talk incessantly about a t-shirt or sweater, a set of spoons. And so if they can do it on the fly, I don't see how they were able to pull that. It was essentially an infomercial. My God, they were always so interested in the desk set or whatever.
Yeah. QVC was a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, but it was like a telethon for infomercials. Kind of.
Basically, yeah.
All right.
But far less interesting.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. If I see another woman in shoulder pads and a big ring on talking about this beautiful turtleneck, yeah, I've seen
Right.
enough.
And a little graphic down in the corner of the screen that says how many they got left.
Right. Hurry.
Yeah.
All right,
Mhm.
man. We did it. I appreciate your time today.
Cool, man.
All right. I'm about to go run an ad. See ya.
Do it. See ya.
This program has been a paid commercial presentation from Dealer Mill Corporation.
The show's over, and I don't know what to do with myself till next Friday.
You could spend hours making your own free nights and weekends t-shirts and coffee mugs, but now there's a better way.
There's got to be a better way.
Yeah, I just said that.
Oh, I didn't know what that.
A quality industrial sewing machine could cost more than $20,000 probably. Would you pay $200 for a gorgeous free nights and weekends magnet?
I would.
Probably.
I guess.
Not with this special offer, you won't. Follow the FNAW swag link on this player, and you'll spend a fraction of that on quality FNAW merchandise you crave. No more downloading sketchy copies of design software. No more blacking out with rage, trying to get the typeset all lined up perfectly. We do all that. Follow the link for the finest t-shirts, mugs, koozies, and tumblers, and support the show. Operators are standing by.